Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Go figure, get the figures, let's make about 8.
Cash rule, cash rule,
When worst come to worst, my peoples come first. I was hardly making George before I'd written a verse. Kept my mind straight, no hate. Work with my ambition, invested in my ideas when nobody would listen. They told me I couldn't do it, so they think I could buy it. But they ain't even trying, ain't no need to deny it. Black continuity of hustle and grind. People been fighting centuries for lives like mine. Trying to look to a higher power, but what I didn't see is the seed of success lies deeper than me. Black Wall Street, gotta get the ground beneath my own feet. Gotta be the sole controller, march to my own beat. Stacking the capital to the best of my ability. More cash in the safe because I put it through liquidity. Started from the minor league, it's basic here, but after practice, cracking the safe after we utilize it.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I want to say good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. So if you are not Black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. If you can see me and hear me, just say, yes, I can. That way I can know that that we're connected and that we're talking and that we're being 100% Black. Also, shout out the city. Let me know what city you're coming from. Let me see here. Stream on the Your Black World channel. It never has this problem. No streaming. Okay, I don't know what that means, Darlene. I'm sorry. You got to explain that to me. Tell me what's going on. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me. I'm looking here and it looks like you guys can see me and hear me okay. All right, and so let's just get it cracking. Let's jump into this conversation. Now, first of all, I want to ask everybody real quick. Let's do a confessional real quick. Let's do a quick confessional. How many of you have ever had serious relationship problems, like embarrassing relationship problems? How many of you have ever been in a situation where because you trusted a big butt and a smile, everything went south? How many of you have been in a situation where because you went for the wrong man and thought he was the right man, things just kind of got to the point where you were just sort of asking yourself, like, how did I even get in this situation? Like, how did this even happen to me? Like, this ain't even supposed to happen to me. I'm gonna be the first to make that confession. I'm the first to confess to that because I think love is universal and we all have our experiences. And sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we put ourselves in bad situations. And I'm gonna tell you what, the topic that I wanted to touch on today, it's one of those topics where I'll have people that'll say, Doc, why would you're a financial guy, why would you even talk about this? Well, because number one, I make it very, very clear that I'm not a finance professor who happens to be Black. I'm a Black man who happens to be a finance professor. So anything that involves my people, involves my brothers and my sisters and other Black folks, I'm always there. I'm always interested in it. I always want to talk about it. And I invite you guys to always ask me about it. Why? Well, because it's the little shit that throws you off of the big shit. It's the little things that keep you from accomplishing the big things. It's the tiny situations that cause you to lose out on the big opportunities in your life. I mean, we all go through that. A lot of you in here might have gone through a divorce, an ugly divorce that caused you to lose everything, lose all your wealth, lose your peace of mind, more importantly, lose maybe your physical and mental health, lose your status in the world. Maybe you were in a relationship with the wrong person and next thing you know, people are saying bad things about you that aren't true. Right. And in fact, actually, when you really understand wealth, what you learn is that the people that tend to have a chance to be wealthy and successful in life tend to be people who are able to override the bullshit. The people or either override it and overcome it or avoid it altogether. They can see the bullshit coming, from a mile away. You know, I'm telling you, when you get older, you become a bullshit. You gain a really good bullshit-ometer, where when you see somebody's bringing some BS into your life, you're like, okay, I'm about to go over here. I don't want no parts of none of this, because you're about to derail everything that I got going on. And I would just tell you, just from, just personal experience, I can just think of times, for example, when I became a little more famous and a lot of people knew who I was. And so I go to different cities and I get recognized. Well, you got traps set for you everywhere. There's traps everywhere for every man. And I'm the first to admit that, as a black man, everybody wants to fucking put you in a situation where they want to shame you and label you as some sort of a predator because, you saw a pretty girl and you decided that you wanted to make a move or whatever, right? Like people do that, right? So I really think the best advice I'm able to give brothers is not just financial advice. I can tell you, what to do with your stocks and your bonds and your 401k, or how to start a business, or like the difference between a will and a trust and a formal estate plan. Like I can break all that down for you, but none of that matters if you don't master the game of life. If you don't master the game of life, then all that shit goes out the window. I'll give you an example. Please hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please retweet this. And I want to welcome everybody to drboycetv.com. This is the home for intelligent Black people. And so this is where we have intelligent Black conversations about issues that are going on in the world. We'll talk about anything, but we always elevate the conversation to a place where we can grow from it. And so here's what here's what I'm thinking about today. So I'm watching, there's this rapper called DaBaby. DaBaby, not the baby. It's DaBaby, right? That's his name. That's what he chose, is what it is. I ain't judging. How many of you have heard of the rapper DaBaby? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you've heard of the rapper DaBaby. And I'm gonna tell you how I heard about DaBaby myself. I heard about DaBaby. It's so funny saying DaBaby, but then again, I'm friends with Charlemagne the God. I think is he the God or is he the God? I think he's the God, which I thought that was interesting. That I knew Charlemagne when he was just Charlemagne. Like I met Charlemagne the God back when he was just Charlemagne on the Wendy Williams show. And then he became Charlemagne the God. And I gotta ask him, next time I talk to him, I gotta ask him like where that whole the God thing came from. You won't ever hear me calling myself Boyce the God, Dr. Boyce the God, like that. No disrespect to Charlemagne. Love that guy. He brought Dr. Claude Anderson on this show. He didn't have to do that. He brought Farrakhan on the show for me. He didn't have to do that. So I will never say anything negative about Charlemagne. I just want to make that 100% clear. But so DaBaby is this guy who's really blown up. I found out about him from our kids. We were in the car and we like to see what the kids are listening to. We like to understand what our children do. Plus, when I go on shows like The Breakfast Club, I like to know what's happening in pop culture. Even if I don't agree with it, I like to see it, understand it, try to appreciate it, and learn from it. So I'm like, okay, so what are y'all listening to now? And they're like, oh, look up DaBaby on Spotify. So I look up DaBaby on Spotify, and he's got some songs like, it's like, and we listen to the beat. We're like, okay, this is nice. I want some shit with some bop in it, So me and Alicia are like, okay, this is pretty good actually, right? So we listened to it, and then also we saw him in on YouTube, and we were like, okay, this is a good video. He's got a lot of creativity, he's talented. Rapping, what it used to be, right? It's different now, right? It's different now. You ain't really got to be a rapper to be a rapper, if you know what I mean. Like nowadays, you ain't really got to be a rapper to be a rapper. Like when I grew up, when I was coming up in hip hop, you had to be like a lyricist. Like you really had to be smart and sharp to be a lyricist. Some of these motherfuckers look like they can't spell their mama's name. Like they look like they too damn high to know what day it is or what planet they on. You know what I mean? So you ain't really a rapper. You just got your engineer is brilliant. The guy making your beats is brilliant. The guys doing your video, guys like Peter Parker, are brilliant, but you ain't brilliant. Your ass is just filling the image of a high drunk ass black man who can't spell his own fucking name, right? Like, let's just keep it 100. That's what it is. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not really seeing talent from a lot of the young artists, but some of the young artists do have talent. Like Young M.A., she's still mad at me, I think, because she thinks that I don't like her. But if you see her, tell Young M.A. that I actually think she's a brilliant artist. Just her style is not my style. Like I don't, the idea of a woman rapping like she's a dude and talking about how many women she's screwing in her imaginary penis and all that's really weird to me. I don't get that. I'm just gonna keep it 100. But she's brilliant, amazing lyricist. So let's go back to DaBaby. So DaBaby So we follow, we pay attention. I saw when he had a situation with the cops down in Charlotte, he handled that really well. He came out very intelligently in explaining how he basically trapped the cops in whatever they were doing. And I thought that was good. I was like, way to go, black man. Good for you. So as expected, there's also other drama that comes with being famous, right? So usually when somebody first becomes famous at a big level, you see them adjusting. What you see is you see them adjusting to what it's like to suddenly have people analyzing your every move, looking at every tweet you ever put out. You have different people that are attracted to you, trying to come into your space. You attract vultures and predators who are going to try to do harm to you. It's a real adjustment. It's a real adjustment. Lizzo's going through that adjustment now. That's why you see Lizzo so stressed out. That's why she freaked out when I basically made a couple comments about her on Twitter. Like Lizzo freaked out in a way that Beyonce never would. Like Beyonce would have even just ignored the tweet. She wouldn't have said a word. Whereas Lizzo, because she's so sensitive, she's responding to everything. She's very prickly. So basically you're seeing her kind of act out as a result of that. So the baby is adjusting. And one of the things that I noticed was this interesting thing going on with his child's mother. Now, I'm not here to gossip about somebody's baby mama issues. I'm too grown for that. I've seen it all. I don't give a shit. But it did get my attention in the sense that I care about young brothers and young sisters, young people, period, in terms of how we make decisions in our lives that can have long-term effects and how we can reshape and sort of think about what we're seeing when it comes to how we build our lives up. So here's what I saw. So I saw a video where the baby's basically explaining away something about his baby mama. I watched the video. And I'm gonna summarize it for you. You can look it up if you're into that gossipy stuff. But basically, he was kind of explaining away this whole internet conversation about whether or not he had a baby with another woman or whatever, right? So, surprise, surprise, a rapper who's getting hit on by thousands of women cheats on his girl, right? Surprise! Oh my God, I know we've never seen that before. We've never seen a rapper dive into a vagina before, right? But whatever, for whatever reason, it becomes a big deal, and everybody acts shocked like it's huge or whatever. Whatever, I didn't give a shit about that. People cheat all the time. It happens every day. But what I noticed though was like he had a very measured tone and actually pretty reflective for what I see for a lot of young like rappers in his age bracket. He was really sort of talking about his daughter and protecting his daughter from all the chaos. Basically saying that his number one priority was to make sure his daughter was safe from all of this nonsense that's really going on. And I thought to myself, I said, okay, this is actually quite mature. I really like this perspective. He's focusing on what matters. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Have you guys noticed how many people just really fuck up their children because you're acting like a damn child yourself? How many of you have seen people who, because they can't get along with their baby daddy or their baby mama, have literally screwed up their kids because their kids have to watch them fighting and screaming at each other. And then when they're famous, it's even worse because then they're blasting each other on the internet, exposing each other, and you both end up looking really stupid. Like there's an old saying that says when two people are fighting from a distance, they both look stupid. Like, it doesn't, the people aren't going to try to figure out, well, she's right or he's right or whose side they're going to pick. They just like the show. People just enjoy the show. And all the while, it's at the child's expense. Like the child's going to grow up hating both of you. The child's going to grow up pissed off because y'all can't figure out a way to keep your shit together. And I will say this, I got a chance to watch my parents stay married for 45 years. They did their 45th year this year. And one thing I can tell you is I know for a fact, when I became an adult, I learned that my parents had a lot of drama in their relationship. They had a lot of the same problems. I mean, my father was a 23-year-old man with these, he had these light green eyes and all the women. I saw women hitting on my dad when I was a kid. I was like, damn, I think she's trying to get in my daddy's pants. Like, what the hell's going on here? Right. And I don't know what he did. I'm not here to talk about that. That's not what I'm judging, but I know that their relationship probably had a lot of the same complexities that a lot of relationships had. But here's what's interesting. I never, ever, ever saw or heard any of that conflict. That shit rarely escaped their bedroom. Rarely. And when I asked my mother about it years later, I said, I know y'all had some ups and downs. And she said, yeah, there were some times that were really tough. And my father said the same thing. Yeah, there were some times that were really tough. I said, so how come we never saw it? And he said, they basically said, because we had a rule that said, you don't argue in front of your kids. You don't fight in front of the children. When it comes to the children, you maintain a unified front. Did anybody else see that? Does anybody else understand that? Does anybody else live by that code, or did you have parents that live by that code? So give me a yes or no if you've ever seen parents that live by that code, because a lot of people, they really get off code when it comes to their children, and and I don't think they understand how much you're hurting your child, especially when you, for example, if you convince your child that their father is the devil, and you convince your child to hate their father because you are mad that he went and got with another girl or whatever, do you understand how much damage you're doing to that child? Do you understand you just murdered their father? And now they're going to grow up with an empty void and chasing, looking for love in all the wrong places because they got daddy issues like a motherfucker, because you were too selfish to realize that there was a bigger picture beyond you and your emotions. Seriously. And so I saw the baby side of the story, and then I saw, her side of the story. Basically, what I gathered, she's mad because he got with another girl, right? And I'm just gonna tell you, ladies, seriously, like, if you don't want to get cheated on, I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you how to not get cheated on. I'm not here to judge that, but I'm gonna say dating a rapper or a basketball player probably increases your chances of dealing with some infidelity by about 8,000%. About 8,000%. I swear to God. I'm getting married on July 11th to a beautiful Black woman. And all of y'all are invited, by the way. I'm gonna put up an Eventbrite with a link where you can RSVP and come to the wedding, Southside Chicago. And when we were younger, she was very pretty, and she would get hit on, like, by these basketball players. I think one time she was in a restaurant and all the New York Knicks were there, and they were all trying to holler at her. And then she lived in Indiana, the Indiana Pacers guy. She's like, oh yeah, I talked to him. And I was like, well, why, if you could have dated all the guys that play for the Pacers or a guy that plays for the Knicks, why would you date a guy like me? I'm just a little guy. I'm not even 5'10". Like what the hell, And she just basically just said, because I know that when you date an athlete or an entertainer, you're in for a certain type of experience in most cases. It doesn't mean it's true in every case. It doesn't mean I'm indicting every rapper or every basketball player as a cheater. It just means that if I was giving advice to young women, I would just really encourage you to just really think carefully about what you're walking into, one way or the other, and are you okay with that? How can you tolerate that, right? Because there is a trade-off that is typically made, and because I've known thousands of athletes and rappers, and I'm gonna just tell you, there's a different experience that they have in life. There's a different set of temptations they have. Like like a regular guy can still cheat on you. Don't get me wrong. We know that get but a regular guy has to work a little bit harder than a rapper. A rapper gets offered side chick. They get offered side chick duty every day. Like every day they get women that are like, look, if you want to just make something happen, and we ain't got to tell nobody. Celebrities in general. And I'm a little bit of a celebrity. I'm not big like the baby. The baby's much more well known than I am, because my God, our community, we love our rappers far more than we'll ever love our scholars. But I know a little bit of what being famous feels like. Like, I know what it means to sit and sign autographs until your wrist gets tired. I know what it means to go to cities you've never been to and be recognized on the street. I know what it means to get fan mail. I know what it means to get adoration that you did not earn or did not deserve yet, because people have been following you for years. I know what that feeling is like. And I will just tell you that it's a different experience. And a person that walks into that life just kind of needs to sort of think through whether or not you're ready for that. I imagine it's very difficult to marry a rapper and expect to have the same life you would have had if you'd married the guy who worked at the post office. That I have not seen. So with the baby, it seems like it's a typical situation. Like, oh, he was with that other girl, so now I'm mad at him. And here's one thing that I saw that kind of got to me. And this is where I'm talking to the brothers now about advice on relationships, or just all of us really, in terms of how we think through relationships. One of the things that we tend to do, I notice, is we tend to think that men can only be predators and women can only be victims. We don't think about the fact that women can be predators and men can be victims too, right? For example, in the Kobe Bryant conversation, because this white woman accused this white woman who had semen and pubic hair from many men in her panties that week, and also was on medication for schizophrenia, which detaches you from reality. Because she accused Kobe, people look at Kobe as not either a predator until it's proven he's not a predator. They can't fathom the idea that perhaps Kobe was the victim. And it's fascinating because it really contradicts this idea that women and men are equal, right? When you say men and women are equal, then that means women and men both have the ability to prey on other people, that there are bad people on both sides. But we don't do that. We believe that women can't hurt people. And I think that's a false idea. Right now, Corinne Steffens, aka Superhead, I'm sure you guys have heard of her. Right now, her current boyfriend or whatever he was is talking about killing himself on social media. He was literally talking about killing himself because every time he tried to leave her crazy ass, she was threatening to destroy him. She was saying, "I'll destroy your career. I'll ruin your reputation. I'll accuse you of things you did not do." Things like this. And this happens. This happens a lot. It's not just once or twice. And so what made me talk about the baby situation, again, I don't really care about people cheating and all that. I mean, whatever people do in their relationships, that's their business. That's between you two. But I saw a video where she was basically saying, oh, well, since you had this baby with this other girl, I'm going to go tell all your fans about what you did. I'm going to go tell all your fans this, and this. I'm going to go tell all your fans this, and that. So let me just say this. Let me just make this 100% abundantly clear. So for the dumb motherfuckers in the back, anybody who threatens you, extorts you, or blackmails you is a predator. Anybody who threatens, extorts, or blackmails you, I don't care what you did. I don't care what you did. Anybody who threatens and says, I'm going to ruin you if you don't give me what I want, if you don't love me, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to ruin your life. That person has the same mindset as a rapist. Like that is the same mindset of a predator. You see, and the reason that it's important to have this conversation, because you don't hear it anywhere else. Because right now it's politically incorrect to talk honestly about what men are going through. Give me a yes or no if you've ever seen a man who's been abused by a woman. Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes in the chat so that we can just speak up for these cases that don't get talked about. Give me a yes or no if you've ever seen men who have been victims of abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, sometimes physical abuse, who've ever been threatened by a woman, who've ever been falsely accused by a woman because she didn't get what she wanted, right? Seriously, I knew a guy who got with a girl. And he was a love him and leave him type of guy. That's what he was. That's what he did. And that was his right. It was his right. As long as you ain't hurt nobody or out here trying to like mislead people or whatever, then whatever. I mean, I don't judge what people do in the bedroom, but he got with a girl and they did whatever people do, whatever grown folks do in the bedroom. And the next day she texts him. She's like, hey, let's get together for lunch. And he's like, oh, well, I'm busy today. And then, so the next day goes by. And she texts him again, like, hey, you got time to meet up and have dinner today? And he's like, oh, I'm really sorry. I got to do this, and this. And it turned out that this lady actually was a business colleague. And so they were on a joint email list together with a bunch of other business people. And next thing you know, she sends out an email saying, he raped me, right? And it came out of nowhere. Like just the day before, she was asking him to come and hang out so they could get together again. Next thing you know, she's calling him a rapist in front of everybody, ruining his reputation. And here's the thing. When somebody's accused, people don't take the time to find out if the accusation is valid or not. Just look at the Kobe Bryant situation. People are not taking the time to look at this lady's background. Nobody's talking about everything that I've talked to you guys about. Nobody's bringing up the fact that she was on medication for schizophrenia. Nobody's bringing up the fact that she had tried to kill herself twice in the previous 2 months before she got with Kobe as a quest for attention from her boyfriend. Nobody's talking about the fact that her panties were Grand Central Station, that she had so many dudes up in there that literally you thought she was sleeping with the whole damn football team and the basketball team too. Like nobody talked about any of that. Nobody talked about the fact that 24 hours after she allegedly was traumatized by Kobe, she was sleeping with another guy like the next morning. Like nobody talks about that. They only want to talk about Kobe. And here, think about this. Kobe as far as celebrities and athletes go, he was about as perfect as you can get. He was like a damn angel compared to most athletes. Seriously, Kobe did not have any other drama for the rest of his career. The next 15 years, Kobe was clean. Kobe was going out of his way to show his commitment and his respect for girls' sports. He was supportive of women on every level. And y'all still talk about him like he's a rapist because some raggedy woman with no credibility 15 years earlier decided she want to go get paid. Seriously. So when you talk about terms, they use terms like victim blaming, right? That's what they use to try to protect themselves. They say, oh, well, don't talk about her past because that's victim blaming. Oh, don't talk about the fact that she was schizophrenic because that's victim blaming. Oh, don't talk about the fact that she was sleeping with everybody in the damn hotel because that's victim blaming. Well, how about this? Calling Kobe a rapist when there's no proof that he did anything to anybody? That is victim blaming like a motherfucker. That's the heaviest kind of victim blaming that you can do. Now let me keep going. Before I do that, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, I would love for you guys to read my book. It's a short book. It's an ebook called "It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar." It's a focus on wealth, education, family, and community, a new paradigm for Black America. It's a vision for the next 100 years for Black people. And it's something that I would like for you and your family to read because I think you will benefit from the ideas that are in this book. If you like this book, it is free. You do not have to pay. It is free. Go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. Somebody please type that in the chat, drboycewatkins.net. And Damon Flag says, read my comments. I'm sorry, brother. I'm trying to focus on the conversation here. But what I will say is that I do private Q&As once a week for people that are members of the League of Intelligent Black People. So in exchange for you doing some sort of support for the platform, I invite those individuals into a private Q&A where I will answer every single question that you have about any topic, whatever you want to talk about. So you can subscribe at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. It doesn't cost much, but we need you to give us something so we can give you something back, right? This has to be a reciprocal relationship where we give as much as we can to the community, but we just ask you to love us half as much as you love white people. If you love us half as much as you love white people, give us half as much financial love as you give white people, then we will give you 10 times more value, 10 times more impact, because I know that those people don't love you, and we do love you. I dedicate my life to you guys. So hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you're on Twitter, please retweet. If you're on Facebook, please share. Bray Rowland says, wrong again, Doc. Somebody did shed light on Kobe's unstable accuser, and that's what he named the video. Did a 12-minute special saying everything about Kobe's accusers that you just said. Absolutely. Well, it's good. I'm glad somebody did that, but it wasn't mainstream. Did Gayle King do it? Unless Gayle King led that documentary and did that on CBS, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Rob Mack, thank you for your donation. He says 24 hours a day, Black media now. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're taking over this game because we need to create a different narrative. So what I'll say here is that the reason I brought up the baby situation was twofold. One, because you want to understand, if you are a wealth builder, and everybody who's a wealth builder, raise your hand. If you are a wealth builder, you must understand the importance of how you choose people to come into your life. That's critical. If you choose the wrong person to marry, choose the wrong person to date, or you bring people in your life who have a predatory nature, then they are going to steal from you. They are going to destroy you. They are going to distract you. Those are three major things that they can do that will keep you from reaching your goals. You can't reach your goals if you're distracted. You can't reach your goals if someone has destroyed you, and you can't reach your goals if they rob you. Divorce, for example, is one of the biggest wealth killers that there is. So a lot of people, I think I saw somebody saying that, the baby's, this rapper, the mother of his child was making a mistake by remaining at baby mama status. Maybe she is. People can judge that and make a decision how they want. But I will also say that if you choose to get married, you want to invest in your marriage. You have to invest in figuring out how to make sure that thing works. Because if it doesn't work, then you're going to be ruined financially as well. A lot of people lose a ton of their wealth from a divorce. Kevin Garnett right now is being asked to pay, I think, well over $100 million, or even as much as $250 million, from his divorce. And so I don't know how much money KG has, but I know that he's going to be financially ruined. So I would almost say that not getting married at all is definitely better than getting married and ending in divorce. Now, given that over half of all marriages end in divorce, then that means that you got to figure out, if I'm going to do this marriage thing, how am I going to end up in the half that don't get divorced? Like everybody's always preaching marriage, marriage, marriage. Yeah, I guess it works if you are the person that benefits. So, for example, if you broke as hell and you're dating somebody who's a multimillionaire, then absolutely, marriage works for you. Go for it. Lock that motherfucker down. Get that paper. That's fine. Get a contract. Get some financial security. That's fine. But also, I will say, if you're the person who has the wealth, like if you're a woman who's doing well and you got a broke ass man who's dying to marry you so he can get half, protect yourself. Protect yourself. First of all, you got a prenups are a big deal. Dual, thank you for mentioning that. If you want to know if Alicia and I have a prenup, we do. Prenups, prenups are a sensitive topic for young people. They're like, oh, well, a prenup means that we think we're not going to last. Shit, we grown. We know shit don't last sometimes. So when we know shit don't work out sometimes. So when I said to Alicia, I said, hey, babe, what do you think about us getting a prenup? She said, oh, I was going to bring that up to you. I think we definitely should. Right. And it wasn't because we expect to get divorced. It's not because anybody's trying to milk anybody. It's because we want to be practical. Right. What a prenup really does actually is it just gives you a clean split. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to get financially screwed because you shouldn't marry somebody who's going to be a predator anyway. You should be very careful about aligning yourself with anybody where you're making this much and that person's making very little and they need you in order to get by financially. If you do that, you're kind of asking for trouble. Like Jill Scott married a broke ass dude and who didn't have nothing going on except for the fact that he was Jill Scott's husband. That's all he had going on. So when you do that, then what happens is, here's what happens when your ass builds some wealth and you marry somebody who ain't built nothing. When you have wealth and you marry somebody who ain't built nothing, here's what happens. Here's what happens. You say to them, I really tried. It was really great. I love you. I wish you well, but it's not working out. So I'm going to move on. So you come to them respectfully and you ask them, you just let them know like, hey, I got to move on. It is what it is. God bless you. I wish you the best. You know what they start doing? They come back at you and they start singing Jennifer Hudson songs. What do I mean when I say they start singing Jennifer Hudson songs? Anybody remember Jennifer Hudson in Dreamgirls? Do you remember the song she sang to Jamie Foxx when he tried to leave? What was that song? No way. I'm living without you. I'm staying. I don't want to be free. Right? That's when they start singing these fucking Jennifer Hudson songs like, no way, I'm living without you. I'm staying. You're gonna love me. You're like you have no choice. You're going to love me. I'm going to force you to love me. Even if you try to walk away, I'm gonna chase you, I'm gonna grab you by your leg, I might tie you down, punch you in the face, and I'm gonna take my shit. That's like rapist talk. That's rapist talk, right? Where they're forcing themselves on you. Why are they doing that? Well, because you came in unequally yoked. Like Bible talks about what it means to be equally yoked. So you came in unequally yoked where you're doing well, your shit is all together. You got the money in the bank account. You got the good credit. Maybe you've got the outstanding career. Maybe you've got, some power and some fame and some respect. And they ain't got nothing but the fact that they're connected to you. All they have is the fact that they are your spouse. That's how they define themselves. That's where shows like Basketball Wives come from. The show Basketball Wives, if you've ever watched the show, all this show is a bunch of women who basically have formed their identity around the fact that they married an athlete. They were living. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad. It is what it is. I mean, think about it. I mean, you get, when you become famous, then you get to be like Forrest Whitaker. You get to be an ugly dude who gets to marry a beautiful woman. You see it all the time. It happens all the time. And I'm not saying that's not bad. I'm just saying that you have to know what it is, because what it does is that what you think is a short-term commitment becomes a long-term commitment. What you think is something that is temporary becomes permanent. What you think is going to last until it doesn't last anymore actually becomes something that lasts for the rest of your life. And also that thing that you thought was actually going to improve your life may end up destroying it, especially if you're dealing with somebody who has a vindictive spirit. In fact, let me give you a little bit of game right here on this. This is something I firmly believe, and I share these stories and this information because I know that there's young people out there that don't have fathers that can give you this kind of advice. This is advice that I would give to the women and to the men and anybody who wants to understand how to build healthy relationships, whether it's in love or in business or in friendships or in anything else. Watch very closely how people treat their worst enemy. Watch how they treat people who've done them wrong. Watch how they treat people. Watch how they treat people they don't like. Don't look at how they treat people they like or how they treat people that they can get something from. Everybody's nice. I don't care who you are. You could be a mass murdering rapist, and you're gonna be nice to people who can give you something, right? They're gonna be nice to. Think about this. There's no ladies. Tell me if I'm right about this. There's no man. I saw this slogan. I saw this on somebody puts on a meme. There's no man kinder than the man who has not fucked you yet. Like, am I right or am I right? Yes or no? There's no man on earth who is kinder to you than the man who's still trying to get in your drawers. Like, there's no man nicer to you than the man who's trying to get a piece of that sexy body of yours, right? And what you notice in some cases you see a flip, right? After the person gets what they want, suddenly they change, right? And same thing for the fellas. A lot of times, women will be extremely nice to you when they're trying to maybe get a commitment from you, or maybe they're trying to marry you, right? And then sometimes you'll see a shift in attitude. There's a financial term for that. There is a financial term, a term that scholars actually analyze in extreme detail called moral hazard. Moral hazard is a universal concept that does not just apply in love. It applies in banking, it applies in politics, it applies in warfare. And moral hazard basically says that when people get something from you that they were trying to get, that they suddenly can change their behavior. That there's a difference between how somebody treats you when they need something from you versus how they treat you when they don't need you anymore, right? This happens all the time. And so it's important to understand moral hazard, because what that does is that gets you past the fucking fairy tale. Some of y'all live in a fairy tale. The fairy tale is that there's such a thing as a good person and a bad person, that there are people that are good all the time and there are people that are just bad all the time. And I don't think that's true. Most of the time, there's not such a thing as a good person or a bad person. It really depends on the situation. Like, I've seen guys where tell me if you've seen this before. Have you ever seen a guy where maybe there's one woman that he really wants something from, and he's extremely nice to her. He's very attentive. He's calling her right back. He's giving her flowers. He's taking her to the nicest restaurants. He's saying wonderful things to her. And then there's another girl that basically he does none of those things for. There's another woman, maybe just as pretty, where he ain't calling her back. He's cussing her out at every available opportunity. He's completely disrespectful. He won't even buy her a cheeseburger without asking her to pay him back, right? Well, that can be the same guy. That can be the same guy. And ladies have done it too. I'm sure you've had times where you were really nice to a man, and then times where you were just like, oh my God, you made me sick. Get out of my face. I don't want to talk to you anymore, right? So the decision to be, that sort of designation of what it means to be a good person and a bad person is highly conditional on the situation and the incentives. Most of the time, for example, most of you are much nicer to your boss at work than you are to somebody that you don't want to be around, right? Your boss comes in, it doesn't matter if you're having a bad day. It doesn't matter if you're pissed off. You're going to smile. You're going to say, sure. What do you need? Absolutely. Yes, sir. No, sir. Right? Why do you do that? Well, because your boss is giving you a paycheck. Or if somebody says, well, if you're nice to this guy, they can get you $1 million contract. You're going to be nice as hell to that person. It don't matter. You can take the shittiest person in this chat right now. There's 1,400 of you watching right now. You can take the shittiest person in this chat, and I bet you that if somebody came along and somebody said, this person can get you $1 million contract, you would be the nicest human being on earth, right? So it's about incentives, and it's about understanding how all that works. And in terms of sort of positioning yourself in a way where you understand how your relationship choices tie into everything that you try to do in your life, right? It's not like, people see, this is the thing. This is why Black people fail a lot of times. We think we put relationship stuff over here, and then we put, career and business and money over there. We think that the two don't connect. We don't even want to talk to our relatives about money and business. And we really think that you can have this high flying life, whether it's in corporate America or running your business, but still do ragamuffin shit when it comes to your personal life. That you can go and, hire hookers or sleep with jump offs or let raggedy ass men into your bedroom and still be on top of your game when it comes to building your business, building your life, setting your goals and achieving them. No, that's not going to work, because at some point, bad choices over here are going to spill over into what's happening over there. Case in point, give me a yes or no if you have followed the case of the president of Jackson State University. Did anybody see what happened to the president at Jackson State University? Tell me, give me a yes or no. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Hit the thumbs up button. Please retweet and share this video. Please do that right now. And also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, please go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. And if you want to check out some of my books and books that Dr. Claude Anderson's books, stuff like that, you can go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. Does anybody know what happened to this poor brother at Jackson State University who apparently had something going on with one of his staff members or something? I'm not even judging. I'm not judging. I'm not gossiping. I'm not shaming. I'm just speaking facts, because you can learn. Life is a wonderful university if you use it as such. Here is this brother, Dr. William Bynum, and this is the lady that works with him. I got to look her name up. They were arrested this week. They were arrested because of something involving prostitution, something involving these two getting together and deciding to go see a hooker together. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And I talked about it not because I want to shame these two people. I just really think that we're too rigid in terms of how we talk about sex. Like we like to judge people and all that. And I'm sure most of y'all in here got all kinds of shit happening in your bedroom that you would never ever want anybody to know about. And just know that I know that it's there. I just don't know what it is, and I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. Right. But what I'm saying though is that it's a mistake to think that your relationship choices don't map into and connect to and directly impact what happens to every other professional part of your life. So with the baby, going back to the baby, that's the first guy that I brought up. I thought about him, one, because relationships are a huge investment. A baby mama who's terroristically threatening you by blackmailing you and saying, I'm going to go to all your fans and tell them all about you if you don't give me what I want. That is called, might be called extortion. That is predatory behavior. So he's dealing with his child's mother was behaving like a predator, no different from a man who says, if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to beat your ass. Right? Seriously, it's the same idea. The only difference is that women don't usually beat ass, but a vindictive woman can destroy you. And he's dealing with a significant financial risk right now because he's got a mother of his child who is unstable, who might ruin everything. Right? Many empires have fallen because the person that the empire that the king was married to, or the queen was married to, decided that they wanted to get off code. So I would say for men and women, if you're smart, if you are a wealth builder, if you are a true boss, and how many bosses we got in the building? Anybody in here, either are you a boss of your life? Are you at least working to become a boss of your life? If you're a boss, type boss in the chat. I want you to claim it. I want you to own it. You are a boss. Are you a boss in your life? Are you a boss in your business? Are you a boss with your family? Are you a boss with your destiny? If you are a boss, type boss in the chat. I want to hear from the bosses. If you're a boss, then that means you got to take control of all of that shit. Take control of all of that shit. Everything that impacts your well-being as a human being needs to be factored in to the next decisions that you make, and you must monitor all of that. Quality of life is typically measured by three key areas: health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. So that means that you can't be a boss if you're not taking care of your physical and mental health. That you can't. It's hard to be a boss because you go one day you go eat too many cheeseburgers and pop over from a stroke, or you're gonna be so damn butt naked crazy from all the shit that you're dealing with that you're not gonna be able to focus enough to accomplish your goals. So mental and physical health is a must. You must invest in those things in order to have them. That means take the time to learn what it means to eat healthy and to have a healthy body. That's why you see me trudging my fat ass up and down the road with Alicia. I don't enjoy it. I hate running. I hate running. But guess what? My blood pressure is spiking. I'm getting a big ass belly. I'm starting to feel like a fat guy. I had to make a choice, right? So monitor your health. Wealth. Anybody who doesn't think about wealth typically tends to be people who don't ever build wealth. Most people who don't build wealth are not really thinking about wealth. Well, why would you expect to build something if you're not thinking about it? I don't think about being a basketball player, so I'm not very good at basketball. I don't think about knowing how to dance well, so I'm not a very good dancer. So if you're not thinking about wealth building, then you're not going to be very good at building wealth. You're not going to have any wealth. Right? So ultimately, wealth is extremely important. Knowledge of wealth, understanding of wealth, management of wealth, protection of wealth, all those things matter. And it ties right back into health, because if you let your health fail as you're building wealth, then you're going to spend all your wealth trying to regain your health. Do you follow what I'm saying? If you don't understand the management of your health as you're building your wealth, then you're going to lose all your wealth to try to regain your health. All your money will go to doctors and medication and hospital bills because you damn near worked yourself into a grave because you are so obsessed with money that you thought you could focus on money in a vacuum. Last component, relationships. Relationships. What do I mean by relationships? There are a few categories of relationships that you want to think about. One is your relationship with yourself. What self-talk do you have? Do you give yourself inspiring, motivational self-talk, or do you give yourself defeatist, backward, lay it down self-talk, right? How do you love yourself or do you hate yourself? Do you push yourself or do you get lazy with yourself? Do you believe in yourself or do you not believe in yourself? All these things are in books. You can read books that will teach you how to have a healthy relationship with yourself. I have self-talk all the time. If you want to know why I don't hear the noise on the internet, when you got little tiny motherfuckers, they always got some shit to say because they're jealous or they want to hate or they want to be nasty. The reason I don't hear any of that is because the self-talk inside my head is so loud, I can't hear nothing else. I'm hearing myself talk every day to the point where I can't hear you if you out here talking shit because I can't, I'm literally obsessively focused on how great that I know that I can be, how great we can be, and how great this can be, that I can't even hear you when you're talking shit. It doesn't, it's like the music is too loud, right? So the relationship with yourself, relationship with family, a relationship with your friends. What friends do you allow in your circle? If your 5 best friends are broke, then you're going to be the 6. Y'all heard that before, and that is 100% true. The friends you have, the friends that drain you, people in your life that distract you, people in your life that don't believe in you, people in your life that don't support you, those are not good people to have in your life. Those are not good investments for you. Most of the time, Black people stay broke. The ones that I notice that stay broke or can't move forward, they can't move forward because they're being weighed down and bogged down by all the shit being dumped on them by inadequate family members or inadequate people in their circle or people that are draining them and pulling them in every direction. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Does anybody else have people in your family that are just fucking all your shit up? Every time you try to build, they seek to destroy. Every time you move forward, they want to grab on and use you, but they don't want to actually put anything back into the mix. Well, let me just tell you a secret. Everybody has that same damn shit in their family. Everybody does, including me. So you know what I do? I don't answer the phone. I have a phone over here. I have 2 phones. I have a business phone and a personal phone. This phone, if I were to show you this phone up close, you will see that the ringer is off. The ringer stays off because you're not going to distract me from reaching my destiny. I'm not going to let you distract me with some petty ass, tiny ass, stupid ass fucking problem that you probably could have solved if you had taken a moment to plan ahead. I know you're calling me because you know I might have the money to help you out. You're calling me because you know that that maybe I'll provide a sympathetic ear. You're calling me because maybe I might know the solution. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to talk to you after I finish working toward all the things that I'm trying to do, right? Because I'm telling you, like most people, if you're trying to launch a rocket, you can't launch a rocket when you got 5,000 people hanging on the damn rocket trying to pull the damn rocket down. It's damn near impossible, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to really think about relationships. So when I look at this guy, the baby, let's go back to the baby. That's why I started the conversation. So I'm gonna talk about him as a prototype on a bigger principle. We're extrapolating off of this story. We are not here to gossip about this man's life. I'm not here to judge him or his child's mother or his family. I'm just not. I don't care about that. But we talk about the baby. Here's what I see. I see a brilliant, intelligent young black man who's got a great career ahead of him. He's a great rapper. His songs are great. I like his music. I think it's good. He seems to want to do more. You know, he seems to really take his role as a celebrity seriously. And he's trying to do good things for the world. But he's got some complexities in his life, some of which are brought on by him, some of which are brought on by other people, right? So you see this his child's mother, and this is what happens when you become successful. You have people that don't become as successful as you, who then see their connection to you as an opportunity to get back at you if you don't take care of them or give them what they want. So ultimately, success is a wonderful thing. It makes you powerful, but it also makes you very, very vulnerable. She knows that she can get on Twitter and get 1 million followers by, throwing dirt on his name, right? She knows that opportunity is available. So that becomes a vulnerability for him. So the reality is that the mistake a lot of black men make, I believe, I've seen this more so with brothers, and I've seen it with women as well, though, is that sometimes you can think that because you're rich and famous, that you actually have a lot of power and that you're more empowered, when actually you have a lot of vulnerabilities that you didn't think about. And so they're so crafty people like the Cardi B's of the world, because remember, Cardi B confessed to 14 million people how she used to drug and rape men and steal their money. So you got people that will look at you and they'll say, oh, okay, he thinks that he's a baller and he doesn't think he has any vulnerabilities. I'm gonna go and get him, because that's how you get somebody when they're not looking, when they're not conscious of what's going on in their life, not conscious of their surroundings. So with men, and I mentioned to you guys the 4 things that tend to bring a black man down: sex, drugs, alcohol, or gambling. Those tend to be the 4 things that bring a man down. A man who's not aware of his vulnerabilities might do something very basic, like, go trust every pretty girl that comes up to him. So those men are easy to take down, because all you got to do is put some big booty woman right in front of him, and he gonna put it all on the line. He'll risk it all. Do you know how many men have been murdered after being lured in by a woman who was literally put there, planted there by their rival? Like, seriously, like if I was a drug dealer, not that I ever would, if I was a kingpin or some shit, no, I wouldn't let any women around me unless they've been thoroughly vetted, unless they've been triple vetted to make sure that it's safe. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, they're always setting traps for you. So you got the white man setting traps for you as a black man. That's a problem. Then you got black people that will set traps for you as a black man. That's a problem. So at the end of the day, you got to be strategic as hell. If you can't be strategic, you cannot survive as a black man. You cannot flourish as a black man. And the thing with women as well is I've seen many women get trapped by this thing called love. I know a lot of smooth talking motherfuckers, a lot of what we call hobosexuals. Hobosexuals are broke ass men who sleep with women so they can have a place to stay, or they sleep with women so they can have a little more money in their pocket. So you got a lot of hobosexuals out here that are looking for women, these intelligent black women who have master's degrees, who are looking for love, maybe looking for a little sex or whatever, and they got it going on in the bedroom, and they're gonna go in your house and lay up in your shit and disrupt everything. I had a friend who went to Harvard and was making about $250,000 a year and had a big gigantic house down in Texas. And she had some handsome man that was, I guess, serving her needs. And she goes through her credit card statements and finds out that basically he was using her credit cards to go buy stuff for other women. So ultimately, if you're a boss of your life, you must realize that your life is your first business. You have to look at your whole life like it's a corporation, like it's an organization. And so when you look at your life that way, that means you're watching everything and everybody that comes in it. Don't let anybody near you or near your dream or near your space or near your energy who might be a threat to that. And I can just say that, speaking to you honestly, as a guy who I have to do triple watch on everything that comes near me. I have probably the feds watching me because I'm a strong black activist. I have a Marcus Garvey type energy. You saw what they did to Garvey. Right? I got to watch out for what little traps women might try to set. I got to watch out for jealous guys that might be trying to take me down or whatever. I got to watch out for all kinds of other stuff. So ultimately, at the end of the day, if I were you, I think I would learn from some of that. And also, when you see these stories that happen in the media, go beyond the gossip and actually try to figure out how to develop a life strategy that's going to make you successful. Because I just want you to win. That's why I had this conversation, because I want everybody to find love and happiness and peace, and I want you to win. So that's my 2 cents. I want to say thank you very much, Margaret, for your donation. She says, "Head Dr. Watkins, you're absolutely correct. I've seen a lot of Black folks looking for quick satisfaction. Consequences do follow." Absolutely, that's so true. You know, every time, like, you just think about something like sleeping with another person. You know, you're risking a lot just by laying down with that person. You know, you know, if you're a woman, he could assault you, right? You decide to go alone, be alone with that man. He could assault you. If you're a man, she could assault you. She could falsely accuse you. She could be a predator, right? And so ultimately, I just really think that part of the reason that most people don't succeed is because most people think like everybody else. And so the reason I invite you guys to come to this platform, and what I hope to give you, is the ability to not think like everybody else, to really question everything and to see the world in a different way. Because I believe that if you see the world in a different way, you're going to have different outcomes. But if you see the world in the way everybody else sees it, then you're going to have the same outcomes everybody else sees. A lot of the things that people think happen just by coincidence or just happen because of bad luck are actually things that could have been prevented had they been strategic and thought 3 or 4 steps ahead. So that's my 2 cents. That's what I believe, and I'm sticking with it. Good luck to the baby and his child's mother. I respect you, man, for protecting your child. If you run into these situations with your other partner, please put the children first, man. Please put the kids first. You got so many kids that are just screwed up because they had to sit there and watch 2 people they love going at each other's throat, and it's absolutely disgusting, and it makes me very sad when I see it. And also, I like to highlight this story because there's an untold story, a quiet suffering happening for many, many millions of Black men across this country who are being victimized, terrorized, blackmailed, and abused psychologically and otherwise. And people don't believe them because because when you're a Black man, people think you only have the capability to prey on other people. People don't believe that others might actually try to harm you. So that's my 2 cents on it. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Please retweet this video. Share this with any Black man you love or any young person that you think can benefit from the knowledge that we've laid out today. Also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, go to drboycewatkins.net. Somebody please type that in the chat. That's drboycewatkins.net. Also, if you want to join our private Q&A we're going to do, where I'm going to answer every single question, feel free to join our League of Intelligent Black People. You can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Last but not least, we have financial workbooks and flashcards. If you want to take a look at those for Black children, we invented them. They're really, really good. So if you want your kids to learn about wealth, you can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. I think you're going to like what you see. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Thanks for everything. Be good. Peace.